Dig Dug is a phenomenal arcade game, no matter what system you're playing it on. With many arcade games, they were often ported over to Atari systems, including the Atari 2600 and the Atari 7800. So today I will be looking at the 2600 version and the 7800 version of Dig Dug. Oh, and by the way, curse V-Stock for putting this label on a perfectly good Atari 7800 cartridge. Now how the heck am I supposed to get that off without damaging the artwork? You tell me. Anyways, let's get on with the review. So here's the Atari 2600 version of Dig Dug, and I'm liking it already. It has a neat little title sequence here, showing the two bad guys and of course Dig Dug. Without further ado, let's start the game. Already it's trying to be authentic, especially with that opening sound. Now, if you're not familiar with the game of Dig Dug, your goal is to crush all the bad guys on screen. And you can do this in either one of two ways. You can pump them full of air, as I'm about to do, or you can attempt to crush them with a rock. Which often involves waiting, by the way. Come on. Ah, well, I'm just gonna finish the board. The only thing that isn't here are the flowers that sprout at the top of the board. This happens in the arcade game, but not here for some reason. So here's the 7800 version of Dig Dug, and while the title screen doesn't look that impressive, especially Dig Dug, I mean, I don't know how to explain it, he just doesn't look himself. But anyways, we can't judge a book by its cover, so let's start the game. Graphically, this version is superior to the Atari 2600 version, but ironically enough has the same sound effects. What's also neat is that the flowers at the top of the board sprout, just like in the arcade game. The only thing I truly dislike about this version is that when you lose all your lives, the game doesn't save your score, so you would better get a picture of the game over screen before it finishes. Both versions of Dig Dug are great. However, I prefer the Atari 2600 version because it saves your score. And while the 7800 version of Dig Dug is graphically superior, it just doesn't quite stack up to the Atari 2600 version of Dig Dug. But what do you guys think? Vote number 1 for Dig Dug on the Atari 2600, and vote number 2 for Dig Dug on the Atari 7800.